season. Mathieu Reynal heads up an all-French officiating team. He's the man armed with the whistle, on duty at Twickenham last weekend for the Rugby Championship between Argentina and Australia. But this is Europe. This is Champions Cup rugby. Back with a bang out of pristine Scotstoun Stadium. Tribal passions, nail-biting finishes, we'll have the lot. And the Pool 1 scrap starts right here. Glasgow playing from right to left, getting us underway and launching the new campaign. Good early possession, but the penalty has gone the way of the visitors. Not that Johnny Gray has heard the whistle.
Yeah, it's a really good take coming back from Kitchener. He's put under a little bit of pressure from McCaffrey. Not quite sure McCaffrey that Kitchener was going to take it, but he was dominant there. Glasgow spotted the opportunity for the counter. Referee not happy with it.
So an early relieving kick from the Tigers. Kitchener ending up taking that unopposed, but a fast start absolutely essential. Important for all of these players to bed in and feel as comfortable as they can, as quickly as they can on this artificial surface. Leicester, of course, traditionally haven't fared terribly well on the 4G as Youngs goes high. And clever little tap back from Thompson, but it's gone forwards now, and Glasgow can counter. That is a very clever kick.
An excellent start by Finn Russell, wasn't it? Firstly, a beautiful kick-off, well claimed by Leicester, but then that follow-up, you can see the headband he's wearing. He had a terrible, terrible head injury in the semi-final of the Pro 12 last season. This is only his third or fourth game back, but, well, we spoke about balance before the game and being able to just put Leicester back under pressure. It was a wonderful kick.
Yeah, there's a lot of height defensively for Glasgow. It puts real pressure on Tom Youngs with his first throw. Really smart bit of game management there from Finn Russell.
Youngs all the way to the back, and that is fabulous stuff from McCaffrey. Goalkeeper stuff. Youngs just keeping Glasgow honest. It's a decent clearance from the Leicester number 9.
I think there's maybe a tactic we've seen right away. It's a difficult kick for Ben Youngs to make touch so far infield on the 22, but he did actually go for touch to try and put pressure on the opposition line, but we think Stuart Hoggs maybe carried the ball over the line, and Leicester have actually came up top with the throw-in.
So the tiniest of errors from Stuart Hoggs, such a marginal call, but it has given Leicester possession just inside their half.
It's all about whether his foot touched the line before he touched the ball.
Here the free kick awarded. Mathieu Reynal standing for no nonsense, and off we go. Glasgow, with the troubles they've had in their back row through injury, they will be relying on this trio to get through a mountain of work. It's there for Purgos, co-captain alongside Johnny Gray. A big hit in the midfield. Again, territory claimed. Purgos heads up, pinning the Tigers back.
It's more of the same, isn't it? You know, Glasgow looking for the corner. Henry Purgos this time. A really good, hard grubber kick along the ground, play mentality, looking to put pressure on the Leicester line. It was a fantastic tackle in there by Owen Williams. So the Leicester defenders are here to play as well, but good tactics by Glasgow, keeping the pressure on.
So a rather more conventional line out this time from Tom Youngs. Good counter drive from the Warriors. Again, the penalty goes Leicester's way.
Yeah, Warriors really keen, obviously, to stop the drive, but just as a coach, you'll be pulling your hair out if you've got any, because you've got Leicester stuck down there. How much further are they going to go before they're going to want to use it? And you give away a penalty, clear the lines, and Leicester will get the put into the throat.
It's a bit of a breeze down there. It certainly seems to be at the back of the Glasgow Warriors in this opening half. Gregor Townsend watching on. This a really significant season for him, quite clearly. His last here at Scotstoun, and they have made this competition a big priority right from the first moment that they met up in the summer. Russell. It's beaten Bayano to the touchline.
And I think that backs up your theory with the wind. Now, it really is at the back of the Glasgow Warriors at the moment, but there's good backfield coverage with Finn Russell. The same tactic again, Ben, from Leicester, the box kick, wasn't it?
Well, I think what they're trying to do is get that second kick return, but Russell's kick's so good, but they're trying to encourage Glasgow to kick back so that likes of Bayano can counter-attack.
Already the fifth line out of the match for the Tigers, and Young's finding the mark sufficiently, just outside the 22 here. Ben Young's trying to work that touchline. Again, the chase from Thompson is a really good one, and the challenge on Hogg sufficient for the ball to be spilt. Really meaningful chase from Thompson, who set off like a rocket from the 22.
Ball touched by a black, by offside played.
Stuart Hogg, who agreed a new contract this week with Glasgow, Six Nations Player of the Championship, of course, earlier in the year.
Yeah, it's a tactic, isn't it? Again, Ben Young's going to that box kick. When you interviewed him just before the game, Ben, that's what he was doing. He had to interrupt his box kicking, and we've had 5 line-outs and I think 4 box kicks so far. That's a target. They obviously don't want to give Glasgow's back 3 space, so that's why they're contestable kicks, putting the players under pressure on the catch. But now Leicester have an opportunity to launch their attack.
So a decent kick from Owen Williams has set up the space, and this little burst from Matt Tamura on the ball just outside the 22, gathering from O'Connor. Young searching for it, the ball being slowed up, and illegally so. Rules Mathieu Reynal. Xander Fagerson looking baffled and befuddled, but this is well within the kicking range of Owen Williams.
The highest strike rate in the Premiership. Owen Williams sitting at 86%. Glasgow will be frustrated with a number of penalties. That's 4 in a row. 4 against Glasgow. Xander Fagerson initially in a good position, but he must release the player. He must release Tom Youngs before going back on to contest the ball. There wasn't clear release, so Mathieu Reynal penalised the young tight head, and it's an opportunity for Owen Williams.
So Williams right at the top of the tree from the Aviva Premiership. He's kicked his last 7. And Owen Williams notches the first points of this season's Champions Cup.
Yeah, just looking at that first line out for Leicester, they put Ben Youngs at the front. That meant O'Connor could be at the scrum half position. So as he comes round the corner, he can get really flat over the gain line and feed someone. Puts massive pressure on the defence to make the right call with 4 runners coming at them all at once.
Russell. Bayano coming in to claim that. We saw the damage that he can do on the counter. Quite stunning try that he scored against Worcester last weekend, beating 6 or more defenders, depending on who you talk to.
He's certainly bumped 1 or 2 as well, as well as evading them. But again, the same tactic, Ben. Ben Young's happy to go to the touchline.
Yeah, I think particularly early on we'll see Leicester just trying to play in the right areas of the field, offering no mistakes, nothing for this Glasgow crowd to get behind. But it's, can they manage the wind as well?
Fraser Brown, Scotland international, and the free kick awarded. So that's twice already from Mathieu Reynal.
Don't delay.
Long delay, not happy about it.
The Leicester defence there just holding for as long as possible and then shifting their position after the call was made by Glasgow. And Glasgow didn't have the ability to recall anything, didn't want to throw it, knew they were marked, and this has gone right up in the air.
And Hogg hasn't read that terribly well in the wind. Recovered well.
Right, yes.
Burgos puts it away. A burst from Gordon Reid at first receiver. Burgos, good chase from Harley. McCaffrey safely done. Ryan Wilson up in his face. Here's Don Barrow. You expect to get through a huge amount of work this evening. Straight through the hands and not gathered clean, so not quite the crispness that Richard Cockrell would be after.
Yeah, the gap was good.
It's a hard one for Williams to take. It comes right through Mike Fitzgerald's hands, and he'll be frustrated.
It's one of the
Frustrated with that as a coach, wouldn't you?
basics of rugby. Fitzgerald has just sort of overrun that, and it meant that he's standing in the channel. You should be able to give the option for the scrum half to hit either the 10 or the forward runner, and one of the things that 9 and 10 always complain about is when forwards are stood in their channel and they want the ball.
You remember those days, do you, Ben?
I never got there in time.
So scrum time.
When you are down the shoulder on the same line.
It's a high success rate, yeah, high success rate.
Interestingly, not a single penalty either conceded or awarded on their put in, Glasgow. It's there now for Strauss, pops it away to Purgos and Russell. Looking for territory, looking to cause trouble here. It is trouble. Paul Bayanu playing with fire, absolutely playing with fire. Just about got away with it, but he left it as late as he could possibly have left it.
Well, they're booing here. I've just had a look on the replay. I think the booing has made the referee have another look, but it's a wasted time.
I just want to check quickly, but I think it's a 22, but just have a quick check, please.
D'accord, on regarde qui a platine premier.
What a game to be playing.
Well, as cool as you like. Watch this.
Oui, c'est bon, Mathieu. Tu peux repartir par un 22 mètres.
I think it's worth a check, isn't it? At full speed in this atmosphere. Oh, look how cool that is.
What's all the bother about
in the world, eh? Yeah. We'll just let
everybody
everybody
fussing for?
Viano's equally happy in the wing, isn't he, as well? Sometimes in his backfield coverage, he tends to get himself a little bit out of position, a little bit too wide, but well, he was back just in time there.
Hogg to make ground over halfway. Purgos through the hands of Wilson and Finn Russell. Oh dear, that did not look good, and it's the new boy Matsamua who made the tackle. Massive brawl breaking out.
I think it could be in real trouble. It's a red here for me.
Yeah, I agree, Ben, as the guys try and settle each other out. The tackle's going to be Matsamua, and my initial reaction was that it looked like a red. Finn Russell was upended.
Well, it's all where he lands. It's definitely a yellow, but I think he lands on the top of his shoulders.
That doesn't look good.
Well, they're looking exactly the same, aren't they?
Green push back. Captain, just one thing. If there is somebody to judge an infringement on the pitch, on this pitch, is me as my team, okay? Not your player. So have a word to your player. There is nothing special, but have a word to your player. I don't want this another time, okay?
Just emotional.
So Glasgow taking matters into their own hands, which has not found favour with the referee, but this is a very significant moment.
I just want the number of the player, and I just want to say to me that the landing of the player, if it's on the head or on the back.
Bon, tout d'abord, savoir si c'est un plaquage retourné, ensuite le numéro et savoir sur quelle partie du corps il retombe, c'est ça?
That's right.
Philippe Bonnour is our TMO. Russell thought twice about giving the pass. Oh dear.
Déjà, c'est le numéro 12. C'est un plaquage retourné, effectivement. Et on regarde sur quelle partie du corps il retombe.
The only thing that might save him is the fact that he puts his elbow down and actually doesn't make it look as bad. But he doesn't put his elbow down, he does land on the head. So he actually cushions the blow for him. It might work in Tamua's favour.
For me, that's a spear tackle and the landing of the player is on the back, so it will be a yellow card.
That's right.
And 12, number 12.
Numéro 12, voilà.
Okay, Captain, please.
12 minutes in to his Leicester career. Matt Tamua is about to go off for 10.
So, not necessary to explain the spear tackle landing on the back.
Yes.
So it will be a yellow card.
Yes.
Okay.
Yellow for Tamua.
Landing on
The
the
Glasgow
back.
fans making their feelings very clear. They thought that's the wrong colour.
Well, I think it's the wrong colour as well, Al. I think the only reason Finn Russell doesn't land on his head or neck is by his own actions. And if you're the defending player who lifts the attacking player, it's your duty of care, your responsibility to place him back down. And I think it's very, very lucky to escape with a
He
yellow
knows
card.
he's lucky. He was looking at the referee's wallet going, what colour's coming out? I think it's a red. And in fact, you saw Tom Young's reaction as well.
The speed of Tom Young's reaction.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, that'll do. That'll be fine. Yellow will take that.
But just watch the elbow come down. That's what rescues Matt Tamua. That doesn't come down. He lands on the head. So for me, I agree. That's a red card.
Much to ponder. Arrived with such fanfare, and Tigers fans delighted to have a player of his creative ability. But for now, off the field, this huge effort for Stuart Hogg. Monstrous, absolutely monstrous from Hogg. Glasgow level, Tamua thoughtful, Hogg smiling.
Well, it's an outstanding effort, isn't it? That's 52, 53 metres, and look where the ball lands. It carries the dead ball and it carries over the head of the ball boy. Ricochets in the stand. So great strike by Stuart Hogg, bringing Glasgow back into the game. But I say again, they will be bitterly frustrated that man's got to come back on in 10 minutes.
He's probably well used to the pantomime villain act. He knows the drill. Showing up on the big screen when you're in the bin, that's what happens. Pyrgos sends it down the throat of McCaffrey. Vayanu, blanket of black shirts in front of him, and Johnny Gray right at the forefront of all of that. Driven through by Williams.
It's good play from Williams just to take the sting out of the crowd. Also, the Glasgow players as well. That's their bit of confidence taken out of that penalty. The fact that they've got 10 minutes now, only 7.5 coming up.
Yeah, but do it well.
Sure, Owen Williams will look to prod the corners at every single opportunity.
Wait.
Straight as a dive from Fraser Brown. No contesting from the Tigers line out.
Well, you see what Tom Youngs did there. He's allowed to try and pull it down. Now he's not, Leicester are. But the initial tactic was for Tom Youngs to be a lone tackler, so he went in low at knee height, tried to make the tackle, but he didn't manage to bring it down. And that's put Leicester under a bit of pressure.
Just ended up getting dragged forwards, didn't he? And Glasgow will be well happy with this. They've got the advantage as well now. Pyrgos breaks, knowing that they have the advantage from the referee. And a show from Russell. Wide they go. Bennett, silver medalist from Rio, remember, drives it inside the 22. Late inclusion in the Glasgow lineup this evening with the withdrawal of Alex Dunbar. Bennett, by his own high standards, have been just a little bit off the pace this season since coming back from sevens duty. But goodness me, what a player to be able to call upon in a moment like that if you lose one of your front liners, Chris.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this type of game will suit him as well. He likes a big occasion. He's got a classic outside break, so an extra defender missing in the Leicester pack will give the advantage to him.
Again, the penalty advantage with Glasgow after a knock-on. Now that's finished.
Knock on.
Spilt in contact, Youngs. Reed chasing back. Hogg is going to win this battle. Good pressure from the Tigers, good chase. And they've won the penalty as a result. A man down and big celebrations and a few more afters.
Yeah, a bit of handbags from both sides there.
Captain, please. Captain.
Graham Kitchener taking offence.
Ask your player to move back, please. Captain, please. Hey.
I know he can't retaliate, but he's been pushed first.
So I just want... Can I speak? Yeah. I just want to be clear, okay? They do it the first time on the spear tackle. After there is an infringement, you do it now, okay? So now we finish. After an infringement, ask to your player to keep the control of themselves. Speak to them and speak to them.
So the law being laid down. No more than a bit of flagrant squabbling after that one.
Reed tries to block, but it means he's late there. That allows Thompson to get in. They win the penalty, and there's a bit of afters there. A little bit of a push on a secondary push. 6-1, half a dozen to the other.
There's not much in that, I don't think.
Time on.
Come on, children.
Holding on.
So the penalty stands, and the Tigers will be delighted with this, given they have Tamura in the bin, and the clock is ticking ever further south. This is a wonderful opportunity. 15 metres or so out from the try line. Claimed by Kitchener. And another penalty. Infringement in the line out, and that penalty count is already looking pretty ugly from a Glasgow perspective. 6 penalties to 1 in arrears they are.
Youngs has gone quickly, not back 10.
And they swing it wide. We'll try. Tate. Little burst from Brady. Couldn't hold his ground. Tom Youngs. Tate again. Deployed in the midfield for the 4th time this season.
There's going to be yellow card.
There's going to be yellow here for Ryan Wilson by the look of things.
Number 7, please. Number 7, not at 10. Tackle the player. Number 7. I don't know.
Please check it, I was checking. I promise you.
That's not your job to say checking.
But please keep checking, because I was definitely...
That's not your job. I have eyes. I don't need to check. You're not at 10. To tackle the player.
Ryan Wilson into the bin. Tackling Youngs without retreating the necessary 10 metres.
Well, I've checked it, and you're still in the bin because you weren't back 10.
I was convinced. We'll have a look here. Where's Ryan Wilson, number 7? He's lucky if he's back 5. But that's a culmination as well. It's what, it's 7 penalties, 6 or 7 penalties against Glasgow already. And Ryan Wilson pleads his case, but it's more pressure for Glasgow.
Sharp from Ben Youngs because he knew exactly the result. The referee has to go to a yellow card there.
And the Tigers are poised. They are poised thanks to the line-out ball from Fitzgerald, and Dan Cole is rumbling around the outside. On they go. Cole driven over. Big celebrations from the Tigers camp.
Stop the play. No, stop. Play, don't speak.
Brendan O'Connor, last man up on his feet. And they are pretty convinced.
Well, they'll be delighted. Richard Cockrell's delighted with that. It's the penalties that Glasgow are conceding that's given the supremely effective Leicester line out the ability to attack. Brendan O'Connor, the try scorer, they had Viano in there. I think they had 2 or 3 other backs in there as well. Simple throw. Take their time to set up the drive. There's Thompson adding his weight towards the back, and as Glasgow try and defend it, Leicester stay together. creep off to the left, and then the power comes from behind, and that's a well-constructed, well-executed try. It looks simple, but very difficult to do. And you see O'Connor there with a try.
Well, it was smuggled very expertly, and it might very well have been Adam Thompson at the end of it all. Cole drove it onwards, O'Connor was close by. Thompson looks to have got that all-important touchdown. And a fine conversion. So Leicester leading by 10 points to 3. Just a minute and a half of their sin binning to follow. Not quite so much time for them to see through now, with Glasgow lacking Ryan Wilson, of course. They will be well pleased with that return, the Tigers.
It's a well-constructed drive, wasn't it? There's not many times you see the blindside when they're scoring from a drive, but it's well-constructed, well-controlled, and a good outcome for Leicester.
Yeah, all that happened was Glasgow lost too many players at the front of the line out there, so that as the pressure came on, they all got wheeled out. Leicester just drove towards the posts. Just need to make sure that all your players don't get committed in one area and you can still react, but they'll get an opportunity now to test Leicester's defence.
It was obstruction, wasn't it, I think, in the kick?
Yes,
From the kick-off, an obstruction, and the catcher, the Finn Russell pops it deep into the Leicester 22.
I think he would have been after a little bit more distance than that.
Yeah, Rory Hughes aiming in the ball, and Thompson stands up. He didn't change his line.
He was stood still. I think that's a little bit harsh. I think maybe because he almost put his backside out to knowing that the contact was coming, stood against him, but I think that's a bit of a harsh penalty.
Johnny Gray rising highest for the home side. Burgos. Jeez, stopped in his tracks by McCaffrey. It was a thunderous collision. Gray dragged down by Barrow. Burgos looking to the short side, quick hands, and Hughes enveloped by Thompson. Really good defensive work. Hughes, though, has managed to secure the ball. Burgos. Fagerson. Almost through the hole. Now potentially some width through Johnson. And it won't stick for Bennett.
Release Green. He's back. Use it.
Big, strong handling of the opposition by Brendan O'Connor, but still Glasgow pour forwards. Still they keep it tight.
Leicester not committing to the breakdown. Look how many players they have on their feet ready to make the collision, and if there is a sniff of a turnover, they then add extra bodies, but they're happy with the defender, the tackler, +1 going in to compete at the moment.
Trying to find those little spaces around the edges of the ruck. Now they send it into the midfield.
Who's back, Green?
10th phase of possession. Swinson for Gray and Strauss. Russell trying to free the arms up. And through goes Sato! Smuggling through! Nobody spotted him! The Italian touching down for Glasgow, and they are right back in the mix.
Well, Leonardo Sato, he's got a knack of scoring tries. He's already scored 2 or 3 for Glasgow this season. That's his second in Europe, and well, we've seen one number 14 score from a driving ball. That's the opposite number 14 scoring from a pick and go, but wonderfully created by Glasgow, taking the physical route to start with, and then there, just the awareness, the understanding that the space is over the top of the ball. We spoke about Leicester only putting one tackler and then one player into the contact and fanning out. Well, Sato picked that. He saw the space in behind and finishes well from 5 yards out.
First European game for Glasgow, and a very significant score. And we're level. 25 minutes on the clock, still 3 minutes to go before Ryan Wilson is allowed to emerge. Matsumura restored to the Tigers lineup.
Well, Glasgow had to be patient, didn't they? They took the physical route. Xander Fagerson, Josh Strauss, Kyan Hart, Johnny Gray, as always. And then Leonardo Sarto, after Finn Russell's half-break, knew the space was in behind. And Matsumura gets the wrath of the Scotsman crowd as he's back onto the field.
Strong burst from Rory Hughes in, of course, for Tommy Seymour. Absent with the back problem, he's been so prolific this season. Penalty Glasgow. Tom Young's not rolling away. Looks aggrieved.
And that'll please the Glasgow coaches, frustrate the Leicester coaches. We'll always say how important it is to regain possession or control possession after scoring points, especially with a win behind. So winning that penalty after clawing himself back into the game, Glasgow will be happy with the outcome there and look to launch another attack. It's Strauss carrying Tom Youngs, makes the tackle, and then you've got to work harder to get away from there. You could argue he's been held in. Fraser Brown's got his arms around him, but you've got to make a harder, a more aggressive effort to roll away. Not easy.
No. First we do a gap. Middle. Here in the middle. Come now. Come here. Come.
Secure. Russell. Fagerson in the midfield. A word with Gregor Townsend very shortly as the ball is fed wide. Burgos, good tempo to this Glasgow attack. Through the middle, there are spaces around the rucks and Burgos is spotting them. Burgos again, little delay on the pass for Harley, inside the 22 now. Really good pressure from the home team. Hughes once more rolling forwards. Out it comes from Brown. Johnny Gray in the thick of it. Here's Tim Swinson. Great stuff from Glasgow. Cranking up the pace, cranking up the power, and getting the second try. Fraser Brown tumbling through the bodies. What a response from the Warriors. 10 points to 3 down. Suddenly they're looking at the scoreboard and feeling altogether happier.
Well, there's so many similarities in the second try and in the first, where Glasgow have identified the space in and around the breakdown, over the top of the ruck. Henry Burgos looking for space, and then Fraser Brown just blasting through an attempted tackle and finishing off.
Yeah, poor tackle from Graham Kitchener. You've got to hold the man. Almost knocked off by his own assist tackler. But we saw Burgos earlier on in that sniping in exactly the same way Sarto did for his try. We saw Mike Phillips score for Sale. Leicester not. If they lose the tackler on the floor, they're not jamming up in and around the breakdown, and there are gaps to pick and go straight through the middle.
Number 4.
The home side on a roll. Russell adding the extras. Let's have a word with Gregor Townsend, the Warriors Director of Rugby. Gregor, you must be delighted with the response first and foremost. Can we just quickly get your opinion on the Matsumura yellow card?
Look, I understand why the referee gave a yellow card. I don't think Finn landed in his head, but I think that's more luck than design. I think it was a pretty stop-start first 15-20 minutes, but looks like the game's came alive now.
And Gregor, the response that you've had from your players subsequent to that, as we see Strauss just barrelling forwards, they seem bang up for this now.
Yeah, I think the tries just got them going forward more. I think we've looked good when we've had ball. We just need to have more ball in this area of the field here. Sorry, I'm half watching the game, half answering your question.
I think you're allowed to do that.
But look, it's a Champions Cup game. There's a lot of aggression. You can tell both teams are up for it, and this will go right down to the wire, I'm sure.
Thanks for your time, Gregor.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like Leicester are being almost rattled in some ways, making mistakes. They're under pressure. See the body language there of Ellis Genge. And is that as a result of the physicality of the Glasgow put, or is it a tactical understanding of attacking where Leicester are weak in and around that breakdown?
I think it's a momentum thing, isn't it? I mean, as we said before, the try from Sato and the pick and go from Henry Burgos, that will be an area that they'll have to use this little injury break to get the message around the forwards that they have to jam up the breakdown. They can't just wrap round the corner and leave no one at home. I think now you can just see Matt Tamura in there back on the field. He'll just be trying to have a word with the half-backs about playing the field position, getting some control back into the game, which they had for the first 15-20 minutes.
Keep walking, okay? That was good on the first.
You just need to take the sting out of it, because you can feel the crowd around the ground really baying for more blood.
So scrum time, and a chance quickly to tell you about some of the rest of the rugby coming your way. Toulon Saracens, massive heavyweights in Europe, of course, tomorrow from 2:45. Matt Gitto is our guest, and from 3 o'clock Leinster against Castres from Dublin, BT Sport 3 HD. Scarlet Sail, our last offering, from 7:30. Alan Wynne-Jones is our guest for that one. Glasgow on the attack, and a beautiful delay on the ball. Sato making the most of it. Up to the 22, Burgos directing the traffic, and Swinson skipping through the tackles. Away they come. All power. Russell, width on the ball. Hogg. Footwork causing Tigers all kinds of bother at the moment. Bearing down on the try line. Fagerson just a metre short.
Hogg's on the touchline. He's screaming for a wide pass. It's been spotted now by Thompson. It's not on.
Still they keep it tight. They go close through Reed. One more little burst will do it. It's Burgos. Try number 3 for Glasgow. Riding the wave at Scotstoun and setting the Champions Cup alight.
It's the same again, isn't it? It's in and around the breakdown, and it's also after missed tackles. Leicester have already conceded 8 or 9 missed one-on-one tackles, allowing Glasgow behind, and that man Fergus to find the space and score Glasgow's first try.
It's really good. Dan Cole actually gets taken out. He should have been. Here's the initial break. Lovely little interplay, left late. Good step in, and then once they're within range of the line,
they're doing well to recycle ball. His Hogg almost held up, but his teammates come in behind, and again.
Just watch Dan Cole taken out there by the clearer. Fitzgerald thinks he's going to be guard. That's what creates the opportunity for the try.
Yeah, well, leading from the front, one of the 2 co-captains in this Glasgow side. Commanding lead already. 33 minutes on the clock.
Score now is Leicester Tigers 10.
They're looking comfortable at the moment. They're finding far too many holes for Leicester's liking.
It's actually Bennett there who makes the clear out on Cole. Just holds his arm long enough that he can't get back into the guard position.
The damage is done before that, Ben, isn't it? With the yards Glasgow are making in and around the breakdown.
You want to be on the front foot as a forward there. You want to be in that low body position, sprint start position. And if you're going backwards, you can't do that. You're automatically getting into an upright position.
Nick Grigg is on, by the way, for Sam Johnson in the Glasgow midfield. That's out on the full. A head injury assessment for Johnson. 22 points to 10. So much incident already inside the opening half hour or so.
There's Nick Grigg, absolutely outstanding last week for Glasgow Warriors against Zebre. He's almost Scott Gibbs-like, for those of you who remember Scott Gibbs, slightly smaller, but he plays that same ballistic, powerful way. a good tackler, runs really hard lines in attack as well. And well, this will be his first experience of Champions Cup rugby, and we'll relish it.
Again, they put O'Connor in at scrum half. This time they'll drive, keep it in. Some black shirts come around there. Rugby on the ball. Leicester now defensively trying to rescue the ball.
It's there with Genge.
That yellow line is where they started, so they've still got a bit of work to do, Leicester, to get back to a neutral position.
Tom Young's little burst around the fringe, but still they head into reverse, but they have won the penalty with Glasgow competing beyond the ball.
You have going on the ground, running away, please.
Taking us early in the air.
I don't see it. If that's happened, I don't see it.
Josh Strauss penalised. I think Josh Strauss and Fraser Brown had made the tackle and were both jackling for ball, but their hands were on the turf. As you can see, Fraser Brown made the tackle, and Josh Strauss, you see 4 hands all on the ground. It's a clear penalty.
Yeah, part of the tackle, lying on top, and there, no clear release. Right decision for Leicester, despite being so many points down, to just chip away at this score. Sometimes you see it as a real positive. If a team gets ahead and you start chipping away, suddenly the panic swings the other way and you think, well, we should have put this game to bed.
Quality kick from Williams against the breeze, just chiselling away at the lead. Vital that all of those kind of opportunities are taken.
Yeah, that was a good kick by Owen Williams. We said already, kicking at 86% ahead of this game. Top marksman in the Premiership, and that was a pressure kick because of the flow momentum against Hibs side into a stiff breeze. He did well to keep his composure and get the 3 points.
Russell sends it deep this time. Caffrey's waiting. He's hit hard by Johnny Gray, whose statistics are barely believable. He's second in the tackle charts in the Pro 12. He's right up there in the carries, the line out. There's an area of dominance for him as well, as Hogg slips into the tackle. Swinson carrying. Ryan Wilson back from the bin. Pyrgos has been causing trouble around the ruck. Fraser Brown met full on by Dan Cole, and that dominant tackle has led to the penalty.
Yeah, but again, Pyrgos just having a dart, didn't he, down the blind side, spotted an opportunity. Leicester hadn't got their guard defence quite set quickly enough.
Time off.
This is Henry Pyrgos spying that half space, but Ben Youngs reads it well, steps into defence, and then as Fraser Brown does well to take it one hand, he gets hit hard, doesn't he? McCaffrey and Coles, and then from there Leicester win the penalty. And if you get a dominant tackle, you then you can control the contact, control the breakdown.
Okay.
Johnny Gray continues his dialogue with Matthew Reynolds. Glasgow were the lowest penalised team in the league in the Pro 12 so far, only conceded an average of 8 penalties across the games. They've conceded 8 already, and 5 or 6 of those in the first 5 minutes.
So lots to look forward to across the weekend. We've been through the Saturday fixtures for you live on BT Sport. Exeter Claremore Sunday from 5:15 on BT Sport 2 HD and 4K UHD, and all the highlights from round 1 from 7:45 with Ben and Brian O'Driscoll in the studio. They'll be rounding up all the best of the action from across this opening round of action. Genge at his best, scampering around in the loose, causing havoc. McCaffrey. Leicester needing to enjoy just a little period of continuous possession for a while now, you would have thought. They've had to soak up a lot of pressure And they are struggling to make ground at the moment. Brady. Glasgow swarming everywhere and winning the decision too. Tigers having a really hard time trying to get on that front foot, Chris.
Yeah, and they changed the way they played there from that line. They went a little bit wider, they put wider passes in, got the ball out to Brady, but the Glasgow defence just kept coming forward and forward and forward and taking yards out the Leicester attack. It looks like Stuart Hogg's going to, well, 50 plus.
Are we on the high veld?
Use that wind, use the wind.
There is a wind behind, and as the first one we saw, they did carry into the stand, but there's a penalty getting won there. You spoke about Johnny Gray's stats. His work ethic and work rate is absolutely incredible for his team. Leads by example as a co-captain, and it's given Stuart Hogg an opportunity from, must be over 55 metres, I'd imagine.
If it's clear.
Stuart Hogg's mentality, 54 metres. This is Stuart Hogg's mentality is built for these moments. He loves the big moments, the pressure kicks, the extraordinary efforts. So we'll see how it goes.
He's given it a fair old thump, but I think this one is just off target. And it will be the final act of a fascinating first 40 minutes. So much incident already. Glasgow with 3 tries from Sato, Brown and Pyrgos. Warm applause all around Scotstoun. Leicester with 1 try from Adam Thompson and 2 yellow cards as well. Ryan Wilson for the Warriors. We appreciate your support, but remember, a family environment. A lot to do for the Leicester Tigers. They will feel that it's well within their compass, though. We think back to the opening round of the Aviva Premiership, the match at Kingsholm against Gloucester. They were trailing the Cherry and Whites by 24 points to 7 at the break. Even conceded an early try in the second half there as well and came back to win it. They have that kind of capacity, that kind of belief. But this Glasgow side look like they really have the bit between their teeth this evening. Just a slightly shaky start, a slightly ill-disciplined start, but what a response.
I was just saying, Ali, what Leicester probably would have taken heart from is that they're only 9 points down with the win behind them. You know, they took a real pounding in terms of psychology, but they got away with it on the scoreboard probably.
Tigers in position and in possession too through Barrow, and that's a little wild from Williams. It has found Tate, and Tate is finding a little bit of space. Williams pulling it back for Vayanu. O'Connor and Brady. No JP Peterson this week. Cole carrying hard, and this is where Tigers have been struggling a little bit. That gain line battle, gaining the foothold, gaining the purchase on the match as a whole. A little show from Tamua, and he's half through, and that's a lovely offload for Gench. First sight of the sparkle that Tamua can bring to this back division. Thompson, try scorer. Gench hit early, keeps it alive through Youngs. Nice handling for Barrow. Tate attacking the line and absolutely flattened by Reed. And there is more aggressive defending from Glasgow. Tigers having to work very hard to retain their own ball. Youngs on the carry, Reed again relishing things in his 100th appearance for the club. Inside ball for Brady, who is going nowhere, met with a double tackle. McCaffrey, Youngs, where Glasgow are finding holes around the ruck, Leicester are only finding bolted doors.
Stay back.
13th phase of possession. Feeding it back eventually. Young's waiting. Barrow from a standing start. A lot of hard work gone into these phases, and eventually Youngs goes to the boots. rather speculatively, and Hogg very calm and composed at the back.
Yeah, and I think Glasgow and Gregor Townsend, the coaching staff, will be very happy with that. Leicester changed their game somewhat in the opening minutes of the second half. Far more width, so Matthew Tate, 1 or 2 half breaks, get his hands free. Matt Tamura deliver a nice offload, and Glasgow had to defend that physically, but also clinically in the decision making as well. Leicester have gone a little bit wider, but in the end, a pretty poor kick from Youngs was well covered by Hogg.
Yeah,
and Glasgow can relieve the pressure.
Kitchener, the go-to man. Delaying the pass, and this is Thompson running hard towards Sato. Kept alive through O'Connor and Brady. 2 feet off the ground, being marched backwards. Leicester have come on the wrong end of the Reynal whistle.
Again, it's Leicester playing to the edge, though, isn't it? See that man Aaron Major on the left of your screen. That's getting more synonymous with him, the width that he used to play and deliver from inside centre in his playing days, but they've gone to the edge in the second half, and it's been well covered by Glasgow. This is a nice move, freeing up Thompson on the left hand side, and then tackle comes in. It's Leonardo Sato who eventually gets back to make the next tackle. That's a wonderful offload to Thompson back inside to O'Connor, and then as the ball's recycled, there you go, Sato gets in, Hogg gets underneath the ball, Fraser Brown, Rory Hughes, they hold up.
Well, just on that, Leicester are trying to get to that corner, which means they're trying to stop the forward momentum. Here they do a tunnel play to put Tamura in the backfield. 2 forward runners, but they split them both, and he's going to go round the corner and cut inside. They're trying to get to that corner, and what that means is that Glasgow can't continue to go forward. They have to backtrack, and even if they don't break the line, they bend it and they get easy meters on the outside.
Harry Thacker's on the field.
Middle, left and left, okay?
Tom Youngs is the man who's gone off for the time being, a blood replacement, we understand. Thacker only made his first appearance last week against Worcester. George McGuigan in the squad now, newly arrived from Newcastle. He's been preferred in the early part of the season. We all know what Thacker is capable of.
Bind!
Straight into the heart of things here, alongside Genge and Cole. A couple of real youngsters in the front row battles here, Ben, as well. Genge, we know, is a young man in a hurry, just 21 years old. Ferguson himself, Sander Ferguson, still only 20.
Both Genge and Thacker, they maybe just sacrifice some of their scrummaging prowess, but it does give them more around the field. Genge, a big carrier, can bounce players off.
Crutch! Bind! Yes.
Free kick.
No, that's fine, stop. 3.
You're just talking about young probs. Gordon Reid winning his 100th cap for Glasgow just shouted, "Hey, leave it," to 20-year-old Xander Ferguson as he was having a word in Ellis Genge's ear. So that sums up experience, helping his young mate out.
Well, you've got the older head there in Reid looking after Ferguson. You've got Cole looking after Genge. When we generally think that these guys in the front row, props in particular, tend to reach their peak in the early 30s. They've got a long old road ahead of them, but already doing serious damage on the domestic and European stage. Quickly away from Youngs to Williams to Tate. Lovely pickup, but such aggressive defending, and Veanu gathering man and ball.
Well, that was a really quick decision by Rory Hughes in the left wing. Mark Bennett came out the line really quickly as we just figure out whether Glasgow are going to take the scrum on the line. They're going to take the scrum. Really good defence by the wide left side winger here. Rory Hughes steps forward. He has to come because Mark Bennett's come out the line. There's Mark Bennett there. There's Rory Hughes. He has to leave the last man, come up and shut down the play. He does it well.
The quality of that pass is better though, and it really hangs them out to dry. They got to that edge. They got the 2-on-1. Brilliant pickup on the outside by Veanu. If that goes to hand, there's a lot of space to work into.
It's a real flip in how they're trying to play in the second half, Leicester, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Wind behind them. I think that was probably the tactic coming into the game. They just didn't execute the game plan in the first half.
Crutch!
They didn't have a lot of possession after the first 2 or 3 minutes, did they?
Set!
Captain watching on.
Stay up. Use it.
Burgos for Russell. Looking to pick out Sato. And it's a good bit of ground covered by Talusa Veanu.
It was well covered by Viano. It's a difficult kick to cover that, especially for a left winger. Brady dropping back. He has to respect the defensive line, and they've got a lot to see all the ground that Viano has to cover there, but he gets his position right. And
time off.
Well, he did his job well there.
He's just added so much to the Tigers, to the Aviva Premiership as a whole. Those twinkling feet of his. Gordon Reid needing some attention. So another opportunity for us to let you know of all the brilliant rugby coming your way on BT Sport this weekend. The winners of the last 4 European Cups meet at the Stade Félix Mayol tomorrow, 2:45, BT Sport 2 HD for that one, with Matt Gitto, our special guest. Leinster Cash tomorrow from 3 o'clock in Dublin with Shane Jennings and Brian O'Driscoll. Scarlet Sail 7:30 tomorrow evening, BT Sport 2. Alan Wynne-Jones is our guest from Parky Scarlets. Brady needing treatment, off for blood. So Beetham on in his place. Nice line-out ball for Worcester to work with. That is loose though, and it's been taken in by Thompson. Thompson heading straight into Fraser Brown over the 10-metre line. Williams for Thacker. Genge relishes the rough stuff. Barrow. Williams again, trying to work those wider spaces on the outside. Clever little kick through, but how good is Hogg?
We're at it again on the far side. Thompson and Diana and Louis Hughes getting upset at each other.
Just a little shove that comes in every time. Glasgow so pumped up for this. Neither side backing down.
Shows you how much is at stake, isn't it? The opening game and getting off to a good start in this championship, this trophy is so important. And Tempers frame, but it was well covered by Stuart Hogg out because the space was in behind the line. It's a nice attacking kick through, and this was the end of it. Thompson and Hughes having a go at each other.
A bit of niggle in the air tonight, as you would expect. Such an important fixture. Launching our European campaign. Youngs going to thread the ball away for Tamua. Glasgow read it well, and Mathieu Reynal loses his patience with Tamua. Had to release quicker than that.
Some really good defence by Nick Gregg, the replacement, inside centre. There were so many runners coming down his channel. They had to double defend and eventually took in a good tackle as well. Had to be on his toes and win the penalty for his side.
Russell putting them back near at least where they want to be, but Tamua here a little isolated.
Yeah, Nick Rigg had to hold for Matthew Tate inside and then shift from him when he realised he wasn't getting the ball to tackle that man, Matt Tamua. He was then penalised for holding on.
It's been an eventful night, isn't it? Settled very quickly in at Welford Road. All the players I spoke to at training on Tuesday were mentioning how easily he had managed to pick up all the calls. He had arrived having learnt everybody's names. Instant impact. That's sloppy from Strauss.
Yeah, there's more niggle again, isn't there? frustrating period for Glasgow. Leicester have came out, they've played wider, we've spoken about that, but the last two attacking liners that Glasgow's had, Finn Russell threw a poor pass that went to deck and allowed Leicester to get on the front foot, and then here a good ball, a good delivery, and then the knock on before the first contact, before you have an opportunity to build pressure on the defence. That'll frustrate the Glasgow coaches and the Glasgow players.
With the captain now.
Dave Rennie arriving, of course, from New Zealand at the end of this season when Gregor Townsend moves up to take charge of Scotland.
Not necessary to do that. We lost time. We just lost time.
By all accounts, a very highly rated coach. They're delighted to have him signed up already.
On the line out. Not necessary to do that. Keep the control. Okay.
Now changes afoot, but you know the prioritisation of this tournament was made very clear right at the outset. But talking to Gregor about it, Chris, he said it isn't just about the fact that it's my last or anything like that. He said for this group of players it might be the last, and that's significant.
Yeah, the players want it. They've been overshadowed somewhat in Europe by their neighbours along the M8 at Edinburgh, having reached the semi-final and the quarter-final in the past. Glasgow, obviously the team who have picked up silverware in Scotland most recently, and they want to add some European edge to that and reach the knockout stages at least.
First scrum feed for Leicester, believe it or not. Straight to the feet of McCaffrey. And Williams digging it in behind Sato. Hogg. It's gone forwards from Glasgow. Ben.
Yeah, I was just looking at Tamur and Tate's relationship, not quite there. Obviously first week working together, they're getting each other's way. Tamur needs to get a little bit wider on Tate as he runs that cutback line, and he's going to create a 2-on-1 with the man outside him. But because they're getting each other's way, the tackle's easy. The initial defender can slide off Tate and tackle Tamur as well.
That'll be quite quickly fixed when you've got two quality players when they play together and work together at training, and you know, they both understand the game very well, make good decisions, so I think it'll be a profitable relationship in the months ahead.
No.
Manu Tuolangi, by the way,
Stability.
up and running and raring to go. It's going to be another few weeks, probably 5 or 6 weeks more before we see Tuolangi back in a Tiger shirt, but the prognosis is a good one for this next return. He was like a caged tiger at Oadby the other day, watching but unable to take a full part in operations. He was straining at the leash.
I'm glad I'm retired.
Stretch. Fine. Set.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4.
To the short side, and Beetham, newly arrived, bumping off Pyrgos. Permanent replacement now for Adam Thompson. Beetham, and Tigers getting caught behind the gain line again. Good work from Russell, and the penalty. Tigers holding on.
Yeah, double error there. First a little fumble and insecurity from Owen Williams, but the man outside him, Matt Tamur, slipped on the surface, so he missed his clear out, and Glasgow pile in and get a deserved penalty.
This is Beetham's carry, isn't it? Pyrgos goes too high. He make a big impact when he plays as well. There's another angle from it, from the scrum.
He's had a great start to the season. Attack-wise, he's been absolutely lethal. A couple of good tries against Sale. But here the Tigers giving up the chance of points to the boot of Finn Russell. The lead extended. High quality goal kicking from Finn Russell. 25 points to 13 gives Gregor Townsend just a little bit more breathing space.
Yeah, that was another important kick, very similar to Owen Williams in the first half, into that stiff breeze. It wasn't the prettiest of strikes, but he managed to guide it over, and just after Leicester, I think, I've started the second half a little bit better. They've had more possession and they've tested Glasgow's defence on the edge a little bit. That'll be a welcome 3 points for for the Scottish side.
Greg Bateman on at tight head for Dan Cole for the Tigers. Russell wants to take this quickly. He's away. Looking to catch Leicester unawares. Pyrgos, quick handling. Swinson, space here for Sato, stretching those long legs of his. The Italian darting back infield, needs some support, finds it. Brilliant stuff from Sato. Great link work from Fraser Brown. Hogg, oh, this is magnificent. Hughes driving towards the line, and the Tigers desperately clinging on for dear life. What a move from the Warriors.
Wow, well, Finn Russell's just kicked a goal, and look at his reaction here. He recognises his space is on, he needs his mates to get him out of trouble. Henry Pyrgos, Tim Swinson, and then Leo Sato. He opens up, he cuts in field. If you're isolated when you're running for the line, head back in field, you'll pick up your support play. And then some passing under pressure. I think Rory Hughes just getting held up in the line. What an impact. What a defence, what a tackle as well.
In the end, brilliant cover defence. Matthew Tate, who worked so hard to get on the inside, allowed his outside man to drift off. But what really made that was Ryan Wilson's line off Sato, cut a line that held all the Leicester defence, created that huge amount of space on the left wing for Glasgow to exploit by hard straight runners using their hands, and they very nearly come up with the goods. Bit end-to-end stuff.
Bogo Mullapola on for Ellis Genge, so a whole new front row for the Tigers from earlier on. Mullapola, Thacker and Bateman now lining up. That was very nearly the bonus point. Just a breathtaking passage of play, wasn't it?
But it's a collective buy-in from the players to react. Finn Russell, you know, it was 50-50 whether it was the right decision or not, but it became the right decision because the players reacted and supported.
I was talking in the week as well about the no fear factor, and that's something that has come from Gregor Townsend, who, as we know, wasn't afraid to make a mistake or two in his international career or his club career. Brilliant talent, but he wants to instill in all his players the capacity to just have a crack if it's on.
There has to be discipline and execution as well. You know, there's no point in being carefree and fancy taking risks. If you take a risk, there still has to be that element of discipline and execution in the skill, and the talent within this Glasgow squad, I believe, allows them to play like that and react to decisions like that.
What a chance now. What a great chance to stretch this well beyond Tigers' reach. And that is a penalty for the Glasgow 8.
If he gives the penalty there, it's got to go through his mind that that could be a penalty try, because if you take out the fact that the Leicester players aren't there, the ones that have given away the penalty, then surely they would have been able to walk over the line. I know it's the first one, but that shouldn't really come into it.
Well, they're going again, as you might expect. Front row being pumped up. They are being pumped to the hilt. Ryan Wilson, very vocal on the open side. Big moments these. A chance to take control of this match, maybe decisively. It's there for Glasgow. It's there for Strauss. Tigers all over the place. The arm is outstretched. Pyrgos breaks with the advantage. Now then, it's Mullapola who is going to the bin. A third yellow card of the night. Tigers down to 14. Big trouble for Cockerell and Major now.
Well, it's just came on Mullapola. It must be very difficult to come from the stands and into that cauldron, into that atmosphere so close to your own line. But Xander Fagerson, the tight head side's driving straight and straight and straight. You can see Mullapola turning in, and then eventually the pressure comes through. He pops up, and Matthew Reynolds issues a yellow card. Mullapola's slightly miffed. I think it's I don't know about you, Ben, but I'm quite surprised that a yellow card was. Or are you dead set?
What I'm thinking there is Glasgow keep that in, and he does go for they force him to go to the penalty try. They wouldn't have got a yellow card as a result. They would have just got the penalty try. But yeah, I think it's very difficult for Mullapola to do anything else once it starts to crab to the left rather than follow it in.
So should it have been a penalty try then?
Well, I think Glasgow probably let it out a bit too early. They took the opportunity of the advantage, whereas if they'd kept it in, you're almost forcing the referee to make that decision.
So Ellis Genge has had to trot back on to hold up the scrum, quite obviously. And Adam Thompson has been sacrificed. Yeah, we need the scrum half. You do feel we are right at the crux of things now, aren't we? Try here for Glasgow makes it a very, very difficult task for the Tigers. Heading into the final quarter. We've been here twice before.
A try here sets the group off for everyone else as well, not just Leicester Tigers, because it's a bonus try.
In it goes from Pyrgos. Tigers splintering again. Reynal unmoved. Strauss wriggling his way forwards. Pyrgos to the short side. And Reed can't hang on to it.
Well, personally, I think that was a penalty the other way at the scrum. The referee let them play on, and they very nearly score that try in the corner. Good switch back, and it's a walk-in.
Oh, lordy. It was there. It was there for him, and the corner flag has felt the full force. Thacker picks out Fitzgerald. Tigers right up against the wall. And Young's delivering a little bit of relief. Not much, but some.
That's a good kick from that angle, isn't it? Under pressure, another wind behind, but he's a good player, Ben Young. He's an experienced player, and to get 5 metres outside your 22 from that angle, it's a really good exit.
So Leicester hanging tough. Twice champions in this competition. 3 times runners-up, twice semi-finalists, 6 times quarter-finalists. There's a proud tradition they are mighty keen to uphold. Johnny Gray, though, has the ball for Glasgow. Just outside the 22. Fraser Brown controlling operations at the rear. Another advantage being played by the referee. Free shot for Glasgow. Crossfield and into touch.
The right decision, just poor execution. Masses of space out there.
Sato sniffing for it. But always in the knowledge that they had the penalty advantage up their sleeve.
There you can just see he's not bound in, he releases, but he's saying my left arm is bound, and he's got a fair point. You can't change your bind and move on to one person unless you keep your bind with your other arm. A little bit harsh there maybe.
Number 3.
Sila Purfisi onto the tight heads, replacing Xander Fagerson, who's put in an excellent shift.
Coming off for Glasgow, number 3, Xander Fagerson.
Made his Scotland debut against England back in February. A growing reputation, growing seemingly with every match at the moment. Replaced by the Tongan international. Harley. Tigers on red alert once more. Managed to thwart that first attack. They've even got the ball back. Tate. Mighty relief.
It's a foot race.
Gathered in by Hughes. He's all power, isn't he? Sean Lamont on the bench tonight, but they are not dissimilar in the way they go about their business on the wing. Russell wants width and excitement. Hogg is doing his level best to provide that. Fergus bringing a little bit of control to the chaos. Williams.
Fayano one-on-one with a prop.
Real opportunity now. Straightens. Just saw it a little bit too late. Still nice quick ball for Tigers to work with. Williams via the boot. Youngs gathers. Good chase from Bennett. And Bennett has his man. Very, very high from Tamua, and it's like Russell might have lost that in the lights. Hogg sets off on the counter, rounding his man. Tate on the chase. Good tackle, had to be.
It's another excellent tackle by Matthew Tate, wasn't it? Stuart Hogg in full flight.
Fergus, who's been pulling the strings quite magnificently tonight from 9. It's been hacked through. Youngs. Oh, Leicester. They're all over the place at the moment.
They're swinging, aren't they? Brilliant cover from Ellis Genge, the prop forward, to be over there. Slowing the breakdown down, but fantastic by Hogg. Gets on the outside channel, looks up to who he's got in front of him, takes Tate on, Tate does well to recover. But then look at the number of yellow shirts that get dragged in close and the big gap that opens up between Thacker and Fitzgerald. Ball doesn't come quite quickly enough because of that work by Genge, but had it done, Leicester could have been in real trouble.
Yeah, Ryan Wilson should maybe have reacted a little bit quicker to Henry Fergus's run there, but there's Stuart Hogg, who, well, he's just so quick, he's so strong in his hips and his hamstrings to make him drive away. But it's another good tackle by Matthew Tate. There's Rory Hughes, who I think has maybe just been replaced by Sean Lamont. He's been outstanding in his European debut. Seconds before helping out with the breakdown there, he was the player who chased back and covered that kick from Owen Williams. He can be proud of his night's work.
So fresh legs arriving pretty much everywhere at the moment. Alex Allen is on to the loose head for Gordon Reid. Brilliant sidestepping try against the Dragons last month. And Gordon Reid, for the most part, I would suggest, has enjoyed his 100th appearance in a Glasgow shirt, although he will be haunted for a little while to come with the pass that wouldn't quite stick. Try line beckoning, but the smile is there.
Great reception as well. A local lad, born in Elgin, just on the west coast of Scotland, played here all his career. And I get a great acclaim from the Scotston crowd.
Scotstoun in great voices. It has been throughout this evening. 25 points to 13, 15 minutes left to play, and the Warriors are dictating everything at the moment. To the short side. Little dig over the top, taken in by McCaffrey.
6.
Oh, Fitzgerald, he was in there all along on the ball.
Time off.
The referee saying that he didn't, and he'd changed his mind to get to the ball.
Captain, second time there is a player swimming around the mall, okay? And they're in good position, so have a word to the player. If it's necessary to change your behavior, to give another yellow card, I will do it. So have a word to the player, please. Number 4, 5, and on the first infringement.
So Matt Tate assuming the captaincy in the absence of Tom Youngs. And this is going to be another shot at goal from Finn Russell.
Yeah, just watch Fitzgerald. There he is. Gets in. He's okay at the moment. Does he swing round? How does he get in onto the ball? Still in that left arm. Maybe he does change that left arm and to go under the ball. If you're not bound in by someone else, you can't release your bind to get to it.
35 tonight. Glasgow extend their lead.
It's good to get points
for it too as well.
Sorry, Al, good to get points for Glasgow's point of view, but they may be a little bit frustrated after kicking 3 or 4 penalties to the touch and having that pressure from the scrum that they didn't manage to score another try. But they'll be happy with 3 points, but I think they'd want to board them.
They would, but it does take them now 15 points out, which means that they can change the way they play. They can still attack from everywhere, safe in the knowledge Leicester still need 2 tries and more.
Leicester have to go for broke. A little bit of a mix-up in the midfield on the restart from Glasgow. The Tigers are trying to use some quick balls. Slater's onto the field now as well. Genge clattering forwards. He was replaced some time ago, but Mullapola remains in the bin, of course. This is Williams. It's been a while since we've seen Leicester pouring forwards on the attack. Slater, lovely offloading. Again, it's Genge who's there in support. Tate. Swallowed up. And off they go. Roared on by Scotstoun. Mark Bennett. Bonus points secure. European campaign launched.
Well, in the Royalist dooms, I'm not sure Glasgow would have expected or even dreamt of getting a bonus point here against a quality outfit as a Leicester, but the way Glasgow have responded after the first 5 minutes has just been absolutely outstanding. Gregor Townsend in his pre-match interview spoke about defence setting the platform for winning teams, and exactly how it happened there. They soaked up the pressure, they got back to their feet, and then Matt Bennett, when the pressure came on the defence, when Leicester run out of players, he intercepted and raced 80 metres to score underneath the posts.
Well, it's been a very busy year for Mark Bennett. Scotland internationals, of course, with the Six Nations, busy with the Rugby World Cup, scoring in that quarter-final against Australia. He's been to Rio with the Olympics. Now a try that really sets Glasgow on their way here. 35 points to 13. Still you feel so much more to come. Tate pressurised so well by Nick Grigg. Both of these centres, remember, Grigg and Bennett, weren't even due to be on the field, certainly from the outset. Bennett was amongst the replacements. Dunbar withdrew, and then Grigg was brought onto the bench rather late as well. They have made their presence felt as we see Pat MacArthur replace Fraser Brown in the front row. And Leicester back to the full complement. Off goes Henry Purgos. What a game he has had. Instrumental from the base.
Outstanding, hasn't he? Really, we often say half-backs and especially scrum halves dictate where the game's played and how the game's played, and he's done that precisely well for Glasgow tonight. He's known where the space was, he's varied the tempo, varied the attack, and he's outstanding.
Ali Price on in his place, 23-year-old from Norfolk. Burns has come on for Tamua as well for the Tigers. Price eager to inject early pace. And the frustration writ large across so many of these Tigers players at the moment. Keen to keep the ball in hand, Glasgow. Grigg driving on. Price to Afisi, wants of Gloucester. Tackler! Price digging. Russell. Not too long, and Vaianu has plenty of time to size up the options. Crackle of excitement across Scotstoun. Playing with real abandon and freedom now. Lamont. Quick ball for Price. Just taking eyes off the ball for a moment. Ben.
Yeah, just looking at the interception, And the problem that Tate has is he's got Greg Bateman outside him, he's got no eyes, he's looking back in towards the breakdown, so he can't see that the man on the outside, Bennett, is going to fly up, and he's got no support or talk from outside. He tries to ship it on anyhow, just races out of the line, and because of his pace, an easy scamper to the line. But that's where you need that extra chat when you're looking in at the breakdown, you're looking where the ball's coming on from the scrum half. You need the people outside telling you whether it's on to go through the hands or not.
So Sam Harrison is on.
There is no more.
Will Evans is on as well on the open side. Freddie Burns taking up his position. Troubling times for Cockerell and Major. This is the 6th time in 9 matches they've conceded 4 tries or more. They have lost Scott Hanson, their defence coach, but the holes remain to be plugged. Harrison whips it away. Good pick up from Williams. Burns floats it flat for Vayanu. Evans. Harrison from McCaffrey. Thompson. Rolling away, Glasgow. Burns punching it into the 22. First appearance for a few weeks, Freddie Burns. Started the first 3 in the Premiership for the Tigers, but Williams preferred for the big one tonight.
Williams has moved to 12. 2 ball players trying to look for space in this Glasgow defence.
Come on.
Decent possession in the right area of the field for once. Harrison having to work very hard to secure this ball. Forwards they go. The ball has been lost. That face tells a story. Sort of position, Ben, for many, many years Tigers have built their reputation on. Inside the 22, possession at the maul, not taking care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is the danger that you look back with rose-tinted specs. There were times that team that won in Europe lost an away game up here in Glasgow, I think, as well. So, you know, it's not irrecoverable, but in light of the fact that, as you mentioned, so many bonus points have been conceded, they need to sort things out very quickly. But can't take anything away from Glasgow. They've been superb, and now they can play at a pace. I'd really like them to see them kick on and think about getting more and more points, because it might well come down to it when it's all totted up at the end of the tournament.
Use it.
Grigg, strong running that you pointed out, Chris, early on when he arrived. And the clearance is solid. It's been a very confident, assured performance, not just from Finn Russell, but from Glasgow as a whole. Given the way that they started, it was a little ill-disciplined. The penalty count was quite high, but they didn't panic.
No, they didn't, and that's a belief that Gregor Townsend and his coaching staff have instilled here. Glasgow have now conceded 10 penalties. 7 of those came in the opening, I would say, 10 to 12 minutes. They were 10-3 down at one point. They were, that everything seemed to be going against them, but through their physicality and through their decision making and attack, got them back into the game, and since then they've been absolutely outstanding.
Freddie Burns wrapped up in the tackle by Pat MacArthur. Mulipola. Harrison.
One of the differences between the two teams is all Leicester's attack has been between the two 22s. Nothing really sustained in the red zone to put pressure on the Glasgow defence, as Glasgow did in the first half to Leicester.
Slater. Burns dancing. Thompson Just a metre and a half per carry, we understand, and yet another intercept. It's Sato striding away, celebrating already. Sato has 2, Glasgow have 5, and Leicester have been put to the sword.
Oh, Freddie Burns, just speculative, just throwing hope. It's got to that stage of the game. Sato knows that he can fly out of the line. It doesn't really matter if Leicester scores, so he can take the gamble. But reads it well. Too flat to the line to throw that pass. Was always going to be under pressure. He's been superb, Sato.
Yeah, a big old smile on his face. Second try, and his first European game for Glasgow. He's a character. It's very difficult to put down. Often breaks the first tackle. No need there. There's just open space in front of him, and he had the pace to finish. But going back to Freddie Burns, very similar to what happened to Matthew Tate in the previous try. They don't have options in and around them. There's not an inside get out. There's not a short runner outside or a wide runner. And it comes from the work rate to get into position to help out your 10s and your 12s. Leicester have got to get back and get some form of shape to help these guys out. As for Glasgow, well, it's just another one built on defence, isn't it? Stepping up, you can see the pass the whole time. Sarto's in the channel between the passer and the receiver, picks it up and runs another one in.
A pass at that height's never going to be on because he's so flat to the line that you know that just that extra step he's taken, the defender's going to be there. His only option really would have been to go over the top.
He's on the ball again. The Italian hungry. Glasgow still hungry, looking to really ram home this advantage, make the point in no uncertain terms. Price. Sato letting that drop. Munster away next up for the Warriors. Tigers have Racing at Welford Road. Doesn't get any easier. Hogg. Little tip and gather.
Oh, and the inside ball as well. Wasn't picked up. Absolutely superb.
It's all coming out now, isn't it?
It's man of the match time. There's so many candidates. Stuart Hogg's one of them. For this brilliant bit of skill, but also the energy that he's put onto the game. But when you've scored 2 tries in this game, and 2 pivotal tries really, particularly the one where he picked and went through the middle, he lit up the game with a sensational break that took Glasgow from one end of the pitch to the other. My Heineken man of the match is Leo Sato.
Greeted very warmly indeed in these parts, and the Tigers running out of defence, having to chance their arm, but the tackles are still good ones. Finn Russell with the latest. Glasgow really masterful this evening. Talk about the Champions Cup needing the Glasgows of this world, the Scarlets, the Sales, those perhaps a little less heralded, not to be disparaging about them remotely, but needing them to step up and provide us with the upsets, the excitement. Glasgow doing that here tonight. No Pro 12 side, of course, in the quarterfinals last season. It was England and France dominated. They've won possession on the ground, and Price has it, and Price is having a little snipe. Swinson, Strauss. 8 turnovers for the Warriors now. Leicester have yet to secure one.
Release, in position.
Harrison, Caffrey, and Thompson. Just not happened for them.
Thompson's carried hard though, hasn't he? He's broken a few tackles, he's looked lively for Leicester. But there's just a different tempo to Glasgow on the attack compared to Leicester. It's better now from Leicester's point of view.
The defensive work has been so tight, hasn't it, throughout. Bayanu has been kept on a very short leash.
Release block.
They've been utterly committed from the outset. The Tigers just scrapping for pride and for a few extra points, which may assist them in the latter stages of the qualification process, but the clock is red. Willapola, back look forwards. It was forwards. Brilliant from Glasgow. Absolutely brilliant. Masterminded by Gregor Townsend. Long way to go, of course, but as a launch pad, that is just about ideal. The Scots up and running in Europe, seeing off the twice champions with a bonus point win. And for the Tigers, their defence still a big, big concern. This is the most points they've conceded ever in a European fixture. 42 points to 13, 5 tries, and Glasgow reigning supreme.
Yeah, Leicester weren't really at the races, but Glasgow in that 10-minute period where they just went through the gears, picked and went through the middle, and spotted Leicester's defensive weakness. That's where they turned the game, and they just kept turning the screw. There was nothing Leicester could do. Glasgow, worthy winners.
Glasgow were outstanding in so many ways. Their physicality, their set piece was exceptional. Their discipline after the first 10 minutes was outstanding as well. And then the execution of what they were trying to do in attack and defence blew Leicester away. And, well, 5 tries at home, it's a wonderful, wonderful way to start your season's Champions Cup.
Well, it makes Pool 1 very interesting right from the outset. 4 European Cups and a runner-up in the